Hello, welcome back to art class. This is Mrs. Poel. Today's lesson is going to be about how to think creatively. In last week's lesson, we learned how to use our eyes to observe something very carefully and train our hands to draw very accurately using shapes. To be an artist, we need to train 3 different things. 1, we need to train our eyes to observe very carefully. 2, we need to train our hands to be able to accurately draw and make our projects. And third, but not least, it is probably the most important job of an artist, is to train your head and your mind to think creatively and to be able to express your feelings through your work. So with today's lesson, we're going to be using our head, our mind, and our brain the most out of those 3. And our title is called Envisioning Kindness. Envision is another way of saying imagining and thinking about the next step of your project and coming up with new ideas. So that is envisioning, and it is one of the most important tasks of an artist. What I would like you to envision for this project is how to brighten up somebody's day using your artwork. Seeing somebody else's creativity through their artwork and also receiving some art as a gift can really brighten your day. For example, I met on a walking trail the other day with my daughter, and we're just walking, enjoying the sunshine, and then we saw a rock that was not just a regular rock, but it was painted with really colorful patterns on them. And we thought, wow, this is pretty cool. And we looked at it and kept going, and then we found another one. And another one. And it was just so delightful. We liked finding those rocks now. Every time we go on a rock, we try to find those rock painting rocks. And we leave them there for other people to enjoy. But it just really brightens up our day. And that is an example of somebody who envisioned how to brighten up somebody's day, and they made their projects. And people like me and other people using a trail can now enjoy that piece of artwork.
But first, it's art history time.
Hello, Keith Haring.
Well, hello there.
Today's little artist is Keith Haring, and we're going to talk about him a little bit because he is an artist who envisioned brighten up people's day through artwork, which is exactly what we're going to be doing. He is an American artist from New York, New York. He worked in a style called graffiti and pop art. Graffiti is a type of art where artists paint or draw or install things on properties that do not belong to them, which is not a good thing. So even though we are talking about Keith Haring, make sure that you don't think that it's okay to just go around and draw on other people's objects or their buildings. He was an example of somebody that became successful from that, but it is not really a good thing to do. A lot of graffiti artists that work these days get permission from the person that owns the building. Keith Haring is also considered to be a pop artist. Pop artists are a group of artists who use bright colors and popular images like cartoons, movie characters, advertisement pictures in order to express their work. Here are some examples of Keith Haring's artwork. You can see that they are drawn on walls, on buildings, and they're using very, very bright colors, a combination of graffiti and pop art as we just discussed. Keith Haring made artwork everywhere around town so that everybody could enjoy his work. He envisioned that the world would be a better place with art being accessible to everybody. I am also going to be linking a video of a read-along of a story about Keith Haring's life. So this is optional, but if you are interested, then you can go to that link and listen to the story about Keith Haring. Our goal for this week's lesson is to first envision, that means to imagine what you're going to be making and who it's going to be for. Our second goal is to make our project based on our brainstorming. And then third, you're going to gift or install that artwork so that your target audience can enjoy your artwork.
Now I'm going to walk you through the process of brainstorming your ideas. The first thing you want to think about is who you're going to be making this artwork for. This is also called your target audience. Then start to think about why you're going to be creating it. This is what you want people to know or feel when they see your artwork. Next, think about where. Where are you going to be putting your artwork? Now write down or think about a few ideas for each of those things. For who, it might be someone in your family, it could be a complete stranger, or it could be maybe a healthcare worker or another essential worker that is keeping us safe right now. For why, it might be just to cheer them up, maybe it's to thank them, or maybe it's to tell them that you love them. Now I'm going to start to narrow it down a little bit. I think I like my idea of making a thank you artwork for healthcare workers. Based on my ideas, now I can decide where or how I'm going to give that project to that person. Maybe I'll display it in my window or send it in the mail or give them directly, but I know right away that giving it directly is probably not an option right now, so I can cross off any ideas that I don't like right away. Now let's start to think about when we're going to be gifting this project, and finally what we're going to be making. Because I'm not going to be really giving the project to our healthcare workers, I'm going to put some question marks right there for when. For what, I'm thinking about hearts because a lot of people are displaying hearts in support for healthcare workers. I thought about maybe a card that I could send them instead. And I also thought about maybe doing a chalk drawing in my driveway. Here I'm just highlighting and circling the final ideas that I decided to work on.
Once you have envisioned what you're going to be making, who it's going to be, and why you're making it, all of those great things that we just walked through, then it's time to make your project. You can use whatever art medium you have and would like to work with, and that would best fit the project that you're trying to make for that person. Some examples might be chalk drawings in your driveway so that people walking by can see your beautiful work. You might send a letter to your grandparents. Maybe you can send a card for your friend's birthday who might be missing their birthday because they're at home right now. You can think of anything you want it to be. Just think about how your artwork could brighten up somebody's day. I will also be linking some example projects in the description box. If you would like to borrow some ideas from those, great. But I don't want you to just copy one of my examples. If you're going to use one of my examples as inspiration, make sure that you change it a little bit to make it original or add things to it, add decorations, or think about different ways to display or gift it to somebody so that you're still envisioning the process and the best way to make your project. When you're finished with your projects, I know that this might be a gift for somebody, but make sure you take a picture and share it with me before giving it away. Another thing that I would like you to work on this week is to remember how to upload your work to Artsonia so that me and your peers can see it. I love receiving artwork through email, but if you send it through email, your friends won't be able to see it, so it's not as exciting. So if you can, I would like you to start uploading to Artsonia. If not, no worries, you can still email or show them to me during your Zoom meetings. For upper elementary students, I would like you to take a look at the next part of the video and try out installing the Artsonia app and uploading your work by yourself. If you can, make sure you ask your parents to make sure it's okay. If you're lower elementary school students or you're not comfortable with technology, you could ask your parents for help for this next section, or again, if you're not able to, no worries at all. Here is how to upload your work to Artsonia.
First, I'll show you how to download the Artsonia app. In your App Store or your Google Play Store, please search the word Artsonia. And then you should see a search result with the app name Artsonia 6.0. Then you will want to download and install that app. Next, I will show you how to upload your artwork through the class portal logged in as a student. Once you open the Artsonia app, you'll have a few login options. You can use the student button or the parent button. In this section, I will show you how to upload using the student option. Once you hit the student login option, it'll ask for access code. This class code allows only Meadowbrook students to access and upload work to our class portal. This code is the same for all Meadowbrook students, and I will leave it in the description box as well. Next, select the grade level of the student. Then select the student's name, and then the student's personal portfolio will show up. Now I will hit the yellow circle at the bottom corner of the screen, which is the Add Art button. Next, select the project name. Then select Take New Photo, which will take you to a camera. Make sure your camera is hovering straight on top of your project so that your image is not tilted. Then you can hit Retake or use Photo at the bottom of the screen to move to the next screen. This screen will allow you to crop and rotate your image. The standard crop tool will allow you to keep the rectangle shape of your project and cut off any of the table or the floor that might be in the photograph. Please make sure that none of the table is showing in your image. That means that the edge of your projects might be chopped off a little bit, but that is better than showing some of your table or the background. When you're happy with your crop, then you'll hit Next on the top right of the screen, which will take you to the next options. In this screen, you can adjust the image. Autofix sometimes makes the colors brighter. You can try it out. If you don't like it, you can select it again to revert to the original picture. You can change the brightness. You can turn it into a black and white picture by hitting gray. And also, if you hit the blur tool, you can blur out anything you don't want in your image, such as maybe your last name, or if your face is showing, then you can blur it out. When you're happy with your image, you can hit Submit to go to the next screen. But I'm going to go back to my camera to show you what not to do first. First, you want to make sure that your image is straight. This is really tilted, and there is a way to fix that with our options. It's our second perspective crop tool where you can move the edges or the corners freely instead of like the standard crop tool. But if you use this tool with an image that is too tilted, it will not work really well, and you'll see in the next screen. So now when I hit Next, the image is going to be kind of warped. So we want to avoid that. So just take your picture straight on from the beginning. And here is again how to do it correctly, where you're taking a picture straight on so that it is not tilted. Now on super speed, I'm going to rotate, crop, and adjust my image. And then when you're finished with all of that, you'll hit Next and then Submit, both on the top right of the screen. And then it'll take you to a screen where you can enter the title of your artwork. The title can be anything you would like it to be. This does say optional, but I would like you to get in a habit of naming your artwork, because coming up with a title is an important job of an artist. When you hit Submit on the top right of the screen, it will then take you to an Add Artist Statement section. An artist statement is where the artist talks about their own work. This also says optional, but I would like you guys to again get in the habit of describing your artwork and communicating what you want people to see in your work. For 1st grade through 4th grade, our goal is to have at least as many sentences as your grade level. For kindergarteners, this will be optional, but I encourage you to tell your parents or your family members about your work, and maybe they can help you enter it into this section. An artist statement writing and brainstorming guide will be linked in the description box, as well as this week's assignment document. When you're finished, you can hit Submit on the top right again, and then you're all finished. This assignment will be sent to me for my review.
I hope you enjoyed this week's assignment of envisioning kindness and brightening up somebody's day through your artwork. I'm excited to see what you guys come up with. See you next week.